Hello, my name is Linda Peck. I want to share with you some of the leadership experiences I have had here at Byron United Church and how those have been comforting experiences for me. I came to this church in 2003 after having been away from any church at all for many, many years. And I came here for my needs. I was looking for what the church can do for me, not what I could do for God. I want to share with you 4 leadership experiences I have had in the time I've been here. The first was an invitation to be part of the ministry and personnel team. That's a small team, and this time when I was asked, there were 4 members, and the team supports our staff throughout the year. They meet with them and talk about their plans and offer suggestions for them. It was a comforting team experience. The person who invited me was part of the team, and we all worked together, so it was never something that I had to do only by myself. We were in this as one team, and it was a great way to learn about some of the leadership things at this church. The second experience was a little different. Alva Coates led the Heart and Soul Women's Bible Study group, and one day she came to me and asked if I would like to join the group. Alva was always very gracious, and so I did. And I enjoyed my time there and learned many things that I had forgotten about Bible study. After I'd been there for a while, I thought, what can I do for that group? I must be doing something. So I said I could help with refreshments, make the coffee, those types of things. I must tell you, I'm not good at making coffee, but I did do that. Eventually, after I'd been there a while, Alva came to me one day and said, Linda, Bob and I are going for a 2-week vacation in Florida. Would you lead the group for the 2 weeks while we're gone? Well, nobody can refuse Alva. So I said I could do that, and she gave me a script to follow. The next year, she went for 4 weeks and asked me to do that again. And after a few more months, Alva came to me in the fall of 2005 and said, Linda, I think there are some different things I should do at the church. Would you lead the church group for Heart and Soul on a regular basis? Alva was an encouraging leader. Alva never left me alone. She was always there to support me. If I needed something, I knew I could rely on her. And so that was a wonderful experience to get to know many things about the church. The third experience was far different. In 2007, the church had already passed the Pathway to the Futures plan, and we were organizing the leadership team of the church in a different way. A leaders board was formed that had a series of elements, all with a facilitator for each one. One of the members of that board came to me one Sunday, you have to watch what happens in coffee time, and said, would you head up our new human resources element and be the facilitator for that particular aspect? I said, oh no, that is far beyond what I could do. Well, the person was not one to give up. Came back the next week and asked again, and the third week. And eventually I said, all right, I'll give it a try. It wasn't as bad as I thought, for 2 reasons. Everybody was in a new role. We were all going through this new learning experience together. We were sharing our frustrations and our successes, and we worked at it as a team. But also, this was human resources, and that's what I did for a living with the school board. So it wasn't totally unfamiliar territory. The fourth experience in leadership was even a higher step. When the Leaders Board started, we used to rotate who would run the meetings month by month. And by the end of 2007, we decided perhaps we needed more consistency, and 2 people together should chair the board. It was determined that Dave Wagg and I would do that. Now that was a comforting experience as well. First of all, Dave knew everything about this church. He'd been here forever. He had all the background information that I was missing. But also, I knew Dave. I had worked with Dave in education, and so the two of us co-chaired the Leaders Board for quite a while. In these things that I've shared with you today, I hope you hear 2 or 3 things. Number one, what made it comfortable was I was invited to be part of a team. Secondly, there was support all through the process. I was never left alone, and there were always people there to guide me. But one thing I did not share was this was a blessing to me, and I saw being in leadership was a definite privilege in this church. This year, Rick Graham is going to be looking for people to be involved in leadership. People who have an interest in that and would like some training, but also people that may have never thought about being in leadership here. If someone comes and asks you to be part of a team, to be a Sunday school teacher, to lead a small group, to be involved in many teams that we have within the church, I would ask you to consider that. If somebody asks you that, it's because they believe you have the ability to do that. In this church, the Leaders Board looks at people who have leadership talents, and we know that there are opportunities for that. God has a plan for all of our lives, and He has given each of us different spiritual gifts and talents so that we can do the plans that He has for us. If He's given you the gift of leadership, then He wants you to use it to make this a better church for His kingdom. So I would ask you to do a couple of things. If someone calls and asks you, think that that's God asking you. And I would like you to pray about that and think of what you could offer to the church. And then all God wants you to do is to say, yes, Lord, I will try that. But I know you're going to go with me and support me along the way. And God will, and you will feel blessed from that leadership experience as I have been.